Hello. Sorry, I didn't realise I'm recording. Yeah, I am recording. Hello. Cheers. I'm doing over my thoughts in a sec. Square cup, John. Right. Another one of my thoughts. Brian, I would value your thoughts on the rapid rise of hate crimes in the UK. What do you think? Brian, I would on the rapid rise of hate crimes in the UK. What do you think? You've started me off now, haven't you? Hate crime. Hate crimes. Hate crimes. I get annoyed when I hear that, because I think hate crimes is an umbrella term for what already exists. We don't need to have a separate thing, something called hate crimes. If somebody is being racist to somebody, somebody's being homophobic to somebody, there are things in place already. So we don't need to add on, oh, it was a hate crime. There are laws, there are rules and regulations, there are, it is a crime to be homophobic, to be racist, to be abusive, to be violent, whatever. All of those things, they are in place already. The crimes are already in place. We don't need to add on something. You can be, actually all of it, I think everything has got a crime attached to it, whether it be breach of the peace or anything, a fray, GBH, grievous bodily harm, anything like that. It's already got the crime attached to it. You don't need a hate crime. You don't need to call it a hate crime. It is a racist attack or a homophobic attack, or it is whatever it is, but that everything is already in place. It's just something new, something modern. The rapid rise, there is no rapid rise, I don't believe. I think it's reported a lot more. We now live in a world where people are offended, and that's a crime as well. So if you get offended, but we live in a world where everything is reported now, every last thing. And if a child shouts at a teacher, it gets reported. And if you call her fat, if she's heavy, that's a hate crime. Well, years ago it was verbal abuse, and that child would be suspended. Nobody would know much about it really. Perhaps his few local lads in the village or whatever, and he would pay his penance, whatever that may be, and then go back to school or go on to another school or something like that. There would be no problem really. But now it's called a hate crime, so you have to make a big issue about it. You can't have a hate crime to a narrowboat. What am I saying? You can't have a hate crime to a narrowboat. However, if you're throwing rocks at a narrowboat and calling the narrowboat long and skinny, that's not a hate crime, but there are things in place. So there's criminal damage. There's a breach of the peace, maybe, if other people are around. There's, grievous bodily harm, as I've already said, really. But there's a lot of other different things in there. So we've got everything in place already. So this big umbrella term now of, oh, it's a hate crime. So, and what happens then is everybody jumps on the hate crime. So if you're a vegan, if you're one of these extinct rebellion lot, if you're a politician, if you're a bald-headed man with a beard, anybody can jump on it and say it's a hate crime. Somebody called me Santa. Oh, well, I don't celebrate Christmas, so therefore that's a hate crime. How did it make you feel? Oh, I was offended. Oh, well, then there you go. That's a crime. So I'm getting wound up, and I really, but it does wind me up because we don't need it. We don't need that umbrella term of hate crime. We've got things in place already. That's all I'm saying on it, really. I just see it as pointless. Your question was, you'd value my thoughts on the rapid rise of hate crime. There is no rapid rise. It's just publicised. It's just in the newspaper a lot more, on the radio or whatever. Hate crime. It's pathetic in its own right, isn't it? A hate crime. Somebody hated me. Big deal. You know, the word hate is just ridiculous anyway. So you've got to work out what the crime actually was. Was the crime a physical attack? If so, then you've got you would deal with those people on that level, wouldn't you? You know, on a fray or grievous bodily harm, or if it was much more serious, it could be manslaughter or murder. But it's all under that umbrella term now of hate crime, and I think it's watered things down by doing that. So I'm actually against the term hate crime. I think if you're racist, and that's wrong. I think if you're homophobic, that's wrong. I think if you're not a decent person, that's wrong. You know, if you're going to break the law and the laws are already in place, there are no new laws, there are no hate crime, bald-headed man with a beard crimes. There are none of that, but there are, you know, violence against the person or whatever it may be. You know, you don't need, I don't think we don't need anything extra added on there. And as I say, it's only reported a lot more now because we live in this world. People like all this, don't they? Oh, I felt offended. You know, there was a hate crime and I felt offended. Yeah, well, be offended then. Offence, when you take offence to something, it's just when you disagree, you don't like it, and it makes you feel a bit, you know, yeah, like that inside. That's all offence is. You've taken the offence. Somebody didn't give you it. Somebody didn't do anything to you. You just took offence. So I don't feel that that's a crime. That's a reaction to something that has happened. That's all it is. And people nowadays, they call them snowflakes and stuff like that, don't they? But people are not very manly, not very strong anymore. They get easily upset, and if they're upset, they call the police. And to get the police to come out to your address, all right, say there was a hate crime, because police love all of that. They absolutely love it. They now don't get involved in anything. Police are not there to prevent crime anymore. Police are reactionary. They come after the fact. That's what they do. And that's changed, you know, just changed in the recent years, really. But if you really want them to come out, say you feel offended and say there's a hate crime taking place, and police will rush to your aid. That's the world we live in now. And then it'll be reported everywhere. So that's my thoughts on it. Probably wound you up, but whatever. Sorry about that. Oh, who was that from? Adam? Yeah, it was from Adam, if I didn't say. Thank you very much, Adam. Take care. I'll be back soon. Be well. Ta-ra.